This is Weather Center Live, and once again, this has been the scene in Texas this morning. Rain and floods still coming in North Texas. The Dallas area under what they call a level 3 emergency. Flood warnings for the Trinity River and White Rock Creek.
Yeah, emergency crews throughout the early morning hours up till now are continuing to rescue people that have been trapped in all this water, including this police officer. All morning long, we've been showing the compelling images of these water rescues. You never know how high that water is as you go through it, so that is why we, of course, tell you to turn around, don't drown.
I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm Chris Warren.
And I'm Jennifer Lopez. Today on Weather Center Live, we are following the devastating floods that have really had an impact here across North Texas.
And Dave Malkoff joining us now live from Dallas. He has seen things unfold throughout the course of the morning. Good morning to you, Dave.
Yeah, it's been a crazy night here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area where the most rescues happened in swift water in the last 5 years. It's still happening right now. Let's take a live look at what's happening with this black BMW right here. As they pull this over and try to right the vehicle, I'm going to tell you the story behind this vehicle. This is Sam On's car. Take a second, and it is going to bounce on the ground. Boom. See all that glass come out of there? Well, Sam was trapped inside that brand new car. When the water swept him away, he couldn't open the doors. It was very hard for him to open because of the sticking differential, as they call it, with the water, just hydrostatic pressure pushing the water and pushing the doors closed. He could not get it open. So he actually got into that vehicle, go out of it through the windows and popped himself out. He didn't have any shoes on. He didn't have his cell phone. He actually had to go over to the convenience store and call for help. He couldn't call the police and fire because they were very, very busy at that point. They couldn't come out and rescue him if he was already in the 7-Eleven. So he ended up calling his insurance company. He ended up calling his cousin, who eventually came out and got him. There are six vehicles still underneath this overpass. We are right near the airport, right near Love Field. So this is causing a traffic nightmare. It's not only the rain, not only the flooding, but also the traffic that is causing a problem because of this wild weather here in Dallas as the wreckers come back underneath this overpass that was flooded this morning.
All right, that was Dave Malkoff right in Dallas, where the city and the surrounding area throughout the county has had anywhere from 5 to almost up to 8 inches of rain. Well, let's talk about other areas that have gotten some significant rain, and it's actually helping the situation around Wichita Falls. But of course, they're also dealing with some flooding. They've had so much rain recently, more than the past 5 Mays put together. So just incredible amount with over 16 inches, almost up to 17 inches of rain in the month of May. Now we're going to be seeing some more rain come through this area. That's why we're concerned with more flooding. Flood watches have been posted all throughout Oklahoma, even up into southern Kansas. And the dark shaded green, that's indicating where flooding is going on right now, and flood warnings have been issued for the region. All that moisture coming in from the western Gulf of Mexico. Little disturbances dropping down through the southwest, and that is what is helping to trigger off not only the flooding, but the threat of severe weather. So we're going to continue to watch this, and another round could be going on as we head into tonight. Chris?
All right, Jennifer, thank you very much. Here with storm specialist Dr. Greg Postel to talk about why this is happening, what changed to make this happen. By this, we're talking about all of this heavy rain and flooding in Texas. And like some people are saying, is there a El Nino connection? That's what Dr. Post is going to talk about right now.
Yeah, well, let's look at the pattern over the last couple of months over the southern plains. We've had a distinct split in the jet stream over the U.S. through April and May. And what I mean by that is we've had one branch of the jet stream, a batch of high winds at the high altitudes doing that. And another one coming in totally differently, right? With a little dip in the jet stream out in the west. And that has actually helped a lot of tropical juice come out of the Caribbean and into the southern plains right there. So this is the pattern that's kind of been associated with our very wet times across the southern plains now during the last couple of months. And it is tempting, Chris, it is tempting to blame El Nino for that.
All right, so we'll talk about the fact that you say it's tempting, which
Tempting.
makes you think that it's not El Nino.
Be careful.
But it's not necessarily not El Nino. It still has some impact.
Indeed it does. So let's have a look, though, at the jet stream that is typically associated with an El Nino pattern. Basically, El Nino referring to changes in the ocean in the tropical Pacific. But that does have implications worldwide for the jet stream patterns that are sometimes associated with that. So here's the map. If you look at the jet stream impacts that are oftentimes associated with it, you see there's a preferred ridging here and a trough here. You might think, aha, wait a minute, right? That looks a lot like our pattern that we saw, right, in the last couple of months in May, where it's been relatively cool and wet in Texas. But here's the thing. That change that we saw back in April and May, in the last couple of months, to that very wet pattern, happened relatively abruptly. If you go back to the first couple of months this year, very different pattern, right? We had a pattern that was both kind of branches of the jet stream were ridging out here, and it was very dry across the west and not wet at all in the southern plains. So if you think about it, El Nino back then was in progress.
Right.
El Nino now is in progress. So there was a dramatic shift in the pattern, though El Nino is kind of saying the same thing all along. So it tells you that there's a lot of other factors at play here, much more transient things like that happen on a month-to-month timescale that are associated with our pattern, other than El Nino.
So maybe not the guilty party, but an accomplice.
Not the guilty party. El Nino has been relatively steady. It's increasing in amplitude a little bit, but it's been relatively steady over the last couple of months when we had the dry pattern there and now the wet pattern. So be careful when you blame El Nino on stuff. You just got to realize there's a lot of other things out there.
Dr. Postel, thank you. Here's Jen.
Yeah.
Okay, we're also tracking the threat of severe weather today. The possibility for strong storms stretching all the way up from Texas over to the Arklatex and even up north of Chicago. Coming up, we're also going to hear from people who had the terrifying flooding over the weekend.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you get 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get no interest and paid in full within 12 months on your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
When you're not confident you have complete visibility into your business, it can quickly become the only thing you think about. That's where AT&T can help, with innovative solutions that connect machines and people to keep your Internet of Things in sync in real time, leaving you free to focus on what matters most.
Seems we've hit a roadblock.
That reminds me. Anyone have occasional constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating?
Yes.
1 Phillips Colon Health probiotic cap each day helps defend against occasional digestive issues with 3 types of good bacteria. Live the regular life. Phillips.
If you misplaced your Discover card, you can now use Freeze It to prevent new purchases on your account in seconds. And once you find it, you can switch it right on again.
You're back.
Freeze It, only from Discover. Get it at discover.com.
The ultimate do-over for wood and concrete. Don't replace, resurface. Behr Premium Deck Over, exclusively at the Home Depot.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-866-686-7952 now. Get ready for the passion, the pageantry, the drama. The NCAA Golf Championships. Men's Individual Championship Monday with Team Championship Tuesday and Wednesday on Golf Channel.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy skies. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
In the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
New Flonase Allergy Relief Nasal Spray. This changes everything. Flonase is the 24-hour relief that outperforms a leading allergy pill. When we breathe in allergens, our bodies react by overproducing 6 key inflammatory substances that cause our symptoms. Most allergy pills only control one substance. Flonase controls 6, and 6 is greater than 1. So go ahead, inhale life, excite your senses, seize the day and the night. New Flonase. 6 is greater than 1. This changes everything.
I take these out to put in Dr. Scholl's Active Series insoles. They help reduce wear and tear on my legs because they have triple zone protection and reduce shock by 40%. So I feel like I'm ready to take on anything.
Fact. Advil is not only strong, it's gentle on your body too. No wonder doctors and patients have trusted Advil for their tough pains for over 30 years. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
Joseph A. Bank presents the Summer Preview Sale. 70% off all signature suits, sport coats, and blazers. Plus 60% off all short sleeve sport shirts, polos, and shorts. Sale ends Sunday. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
As soon as the water came through the window, I knew that we were in trouble.
We have a Tahoe and his brother has a truck. We just watched them float away like they were toy boats. Pulled up with a boat, and from the second story window we just climbed into the boat. Me and I was holding my daughter. I just thank God that he saved us and that I have my daughter and my husband and my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law.
Wow. Just amazing to hear from Sarah and Ernie Perez. Some of the most dramatic video from the flooding that happened over Memorial Day weekend. That was a family that was just in Leander, probably on vacation.
And that is, I mean, such a scary thing happening at night. This happened after midnight, going into Saturday night into Sunday morning. Yeah, likely asleep. Then you hear probably something getting louder and louder, and it's the flood waters. And then you're looking, and imagine before this busted, you could see the water going up on the sliding glass door.
Just amazing. And you know, you're probably thinking the creek or the stream or the river is pretty far away from the house. So this water just came up so quickly. Surely you were under a flood warning, but never thinking, oh my goodness, it's going to come that quickly into your home. And then you just react so much, and you take what you need and you just try to get out. And it sounded like they were trying to escape through their Tahoe, but that also ran into some problems.
Now here they are as they described their scary experience.
We saw that water coming out the back window, and you know, we decided to get up top just because the water had already started coming in by that point through the crack. So it was, you know, get off the low ground, get to the high ground, and that water came through. We were going to be higher than it was.
So the concerned citizen in me has to ask you, Ernie, did you have a higher level you could have gotten to, or a window that you could get out of if the water were to continue to rise in that situation?
So there was windows, but there was no way. There was no way to the other side without crossing the water.
My daughter was asleep the whole time. She slept through the raging water coming in the house. Nothing woke her up until I sat her up to get onto the rescue boat.
All right, and this is Sarah now on the phone, just to clarify for people at home. Have you gotten a chance to assess the damage? I mean, it looked like it got all the way through the first floor of your home. Do you know how bad the damage is, how long it might take to repair that?
Honestly, I have no idea. I've never been in this kind of situation. Everything was disgusting, and it would take a long time to clean it up.
Certainly is, because, you know, flooding, just like fire, can destroy anything, and it's going to obviously take a long time for them to repair that home. But the good news here is that they got out safely.
Yeah, the people that you're hearing on the phone that were talking to Keith and Alex, same people you saw just a couple minutes ago, and you saw them, they look fine, you know, shaken up, but it's certainly a scary situation if you can imagine this. Jen, this is coming in, you know, through the back door on the riverside, but if it's that high in the house, that's got to be surrounding the house. And then we saw the picture of the cars. I mean, what do you do? There's not much you can do. There's really nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do. Fortunately, just almost a miracle that they did make it out safely and that they're able to talk about it, and thank goodness for that, because there were some who did not quite make it, and just a terrible situation with the flooding that happened over the weekend. All right, so coming up, critical information that you need to know about your insurance if your home is flooded.
Unfortunately, it's a conversation that so many people in Texas have to have, and we do have to have that severe weather conversation right now, because there once again is a tornado threat here in parts of Oklahoma and parts of Texas. A 3 out of 10 on our exclusive Torcon here at the Weather Channel.
Flour-pressed soap, homemade hot sauce, artisanal pickles, whatever those are. Well, we're glad handcrafted is finally cool. Because at Firestone Complete Auto Care, we've been handcrafting since 1926. Robots might build cars, but it takes human hands to keep them running right. And that's a guarantee, backed by our fixed right promise. Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive a Firestone.
Firestone Complete Auto Care. Maintenance, repairs, tires. Whatever you drive a Firestone.
Who needs a witness when you set the world in motion? The Ram ProMaster van. And introducing the all-new Ram ProMaster City. Purpose-built to help you run the town. Ram.
We travel to connect those places separated by distance. Sometimes we measure this distance in miles. Other times, by the markers of our history. And then there are those journeys we take to connect the greatest distance of all. The expanse between two souls, held together by the hands of time. Find something more in Illinois.
We all enter this world with a shout. Robert! And we see no reason to stop. So CVS Health is creating industry-leading programs and tools that help people stay on medicines as their doctors prescribed. It could help save tens of thousands of lives every year. And that would be something worth shouting about. CVS Health, because health is everything.
Time to sweat, boys. Big time. Let's get this thing right.
I have made fire!
Fat Guys in the Woods. The new season starts June 7th, only on the Weather Channel.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-855-305-2053 now.
Mom and Dad told us they had just made their funeral and burial prearrangements. We thought they already had taken care of that. When we learned it was through Beth Israel and Eternal Light, we knew everything would be handled in the most caring and professional way. We realized it would be one of the most difficult days of our lives. It inspired my husband and me to make our own prearrangements so the burden wouldn't fall on our children when that day comes. It's not an easy thing to think about, but I'm so glad we did.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy skies. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now on Weather Center Live, this is a live look at a very soggy Dallas with a lot of flooding and very serious flood rescues going on earlier this morning, and still an active scene right now. And then here's a look at that Trinity River, and it has been at major flood stage. That's the purple right there earlier in the week, but gone even higher now. You can see that red dot there in the purple. That is where the river is right now. And so the higher up that white line is on this graph here, the higher the river. And then from there, there's the forecast. Actually, never mind. The red is the forecast, expected to crest at 43 feet. And then it's expected to drop back down starting tomorrow. So expected to crest tomorrow, then drop back down again. That's the Trinity River in Dallas. That's one way of has come down. The gauge of the Trinity River in Dallas showing just how high that river is expected to go. Because again, it takes a while. Once the rain stops, all that water has to drain out, and so you still have that flooding.
And as the water finally does recede in Texas and Oklahoma, many people, they're going to be faced the tough task of rebuilding.
That's right, and knowing what is covered under your insurance is critical to helping you to avoid a financial disaster after the flooding disaster. And joining us via Skype right now, Lynn McChristian of the Insurance Information Institute. Lynn, thank you very much for joining us. You've been out there in the Houston area. Can you give us a perspective of what's going on right now and how big of an issue this is?
Well, it is a big issue. If you look at the homes from the outside, it doesn't look like they have visible flood damage. But at the curb are mountains and mountains of debris as people are cleaning out their homes. Right now, I'm in an auto repair shop. You probably hear that in the background. A lot of flooded vehicles are being taken here and being inspected by insurance companies. So that's where I am at the moment in Houston.
All right, well, we're definitely seeing some video of some homes that have been flooded out. So does a homeowner still have to make a payment on a home that is pretty much a total loss?
Well, there aren't a lot of homes in the Houston area that were a total loss, but yes, you do have to still pay that payment. The flood does not wash away that requirement to pay that loan back.
All right, so...
And that's what insurance...
Go ahead, finish, sorry.
No, that's what insurance is for. It's to protect your finances. So properly having that insurance will help you continue to pay those mortgage payments and help you rebuild your home.
Lynn, isn't flood insurance a little confusing as far as who has to have it and whether or not if you don't have it and you have flooding, what are your options?
Well, if you live in a high-risk flood zone, your mortgage company requires you to have flood insurance. So most people in high-risk zones already have flood coverage. So they will be protected. They're already starting the rebuilding process. The fact is people who rent, they may not know that they need flood insurance as well. Some renters insurance policies may cover flood, but if you rent and if you live in a flood area, you should really look at flood insurance. It's very important.
All right, now you're at an auto place. Obviously, these cars have been flooded out, so does insurance cover that?
Yes, most people have comprehensive insurance, and that covers everything other than a car crash. So if you have comprehensive insurance and car was flooded, you will have money to replace that car. Most of those flood damaged cars do not get back on the market. They are titled as salvage vehicles.
All right, that's good to hear.
That certainly is good to hear. Lynn McChristian, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate that when we are once again still seeing that threat for more heavy rain.
Yeah, especially across North Texas and parts of the other Lone Star State could see some of that rain as we head through the overnight hours.
And coming up, we did see the water rescues this morning from the water, from the air. We're going to bring some of that to you coming up as people were trapped and then rescued.
It starts with a subtle wave, then builds into soft fingers, lifting sails and spirits. Nothing makes us feel more alive than a summer breeze, drifting with us on the water, chasing us through the trees, and playing along the whole day. In the Great Lakes Bay region, the summer breeze is blowing. Where it's headed is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
Listen up. I'm reworking the menu. Veggies, you're cool. Mayo, corn dogs, you are so out of here.
The complete balanced nutrition of great tasting Ensure, with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals.
And now, with twice as much vitamin D, which up to 90% of people don't get enough of.
The sunshine vitamin. Ensure now has 2 times more vitamin D to support strong bones. Ensure, take life in.
Are you missing out on life because you're putting off neck or back surgery? Call Laser Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery, to learn how a less than 1-inch incision can have you up and walking within a few hours of surgery, free from chronic back pain, and with no hospital stay and no lengthy recovery. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, or other chronic conditions, call today for your MRI review.
When you're in that much pain and you live on painkillers, you really don't have quality of life. I feel like Laser Spine Institute was an answer to prayer. It's just the heavens had opened up and it was like, I can live again.
If you've been told you might need neck or back surgery, call 1-855-401-BACK for your MRI review.
Laser Spine Institute, a less than 1-inch incision, a lifetime of standing tall.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you're on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-547-6651. That's 855-547-6651. Again, 855-547-6651. That's 855-547-6651.
Pets are family, and we know it. That's why you can trust 1-800-PET-MEDS. Recognized for our high standards in pet pharmacy, we sell the exact same medications as the vet, but for 10, 20, up to 50% less. With fast, free shipping, our 100% satisfaction guarantee, and even a free treat. Over 8 million pet parents have counted on us. So call or order online at 1-800-PetMeds.com today.
Time to sweat, boys. Big time. Let's get this thing right. This is my one shot.
I have made fire!
Fat Guys in the Woods. The new season starts June 7th, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy skies. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Woods. New season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
More stories coming out of North Texas this morning. This is a police officer who was trapped in his car because of the flooded water. This happened just to the northeast of Dallas, up around Saxe. And again, Chris, I believe he was trapped for almost 2 hours trying to get rescued there.
And he's going to be rescued eventually by helicopter. And it's a reminder that these first responders, they're out there putting themselves in danger and harm's way, likely just finding himself in the wrong place at the wrong time, or just the water coming up too fast to react, because they know what they're doing. And it shows you even the people, the best of the best, can sometimes find themselves certainly scary and not a place they'd like to be.
Yeah, they have done several water rescues this morning. It has been extremely busy with the overnight rain that has come across North Texas and dumped almost up to 8 inches in a few locations.
And we watched the scene play out here live on AMHQ just a little bit ago. Unfortunately, he is okay. And we do want to welcome you back here to Weather Center Live. I'm Chris Warren.
And I'm Jennifer Lopez. This new wave of rough weather is adding insult to injury across much of Texas.
Hundreds of homes have been destroyed by this week's historic flooding, and today a new effort is underway in one county to get families the help they need to recover.
Yeah, our own Reagan Medji is in the town of Wimberley with the details and the story of 2 families who lost their homes to the Blanco River.
More help is available here in Hays County in Wimberley for people devastated by the flood. Behind me is the Wimberley Community Center. You can see everybody, the organizations and the agencies getting all their supplies together. This is a one-stop shop for people needing financial help, housing placement, pet assistance, emotional and mental support. We spoke with one resident here in Wimberley, Judy Thompson, and she explains what happened as the Blanco River was rising around her home.
We were getting warnings, and we were all watching the Perez's, where you see the video next door.
Oh no!
They were out there. The Perez's went home, and Jim looked right out here between the houses. He said, "My goodness, the water is between the houses. Let's get out, Judy." Oh no! And that's when that video was taken. That fast. By the time we drove to the end, the Perez's were stuck.
We're okay. 911's not gonna be able to get to us. We're okay. All right?
See, up at the bottom of that railing, maybe a little bit more than that. But that's why the Perez's then could, this house is a replica, the Perez's couldn't get out the top story, and that's where they got him.
If you're like Judy Thompson or know someone who is, please spread the word. Here at the Wimberley Community Center, a one-stop shop for all your needs: financial, mental health, emotional support. This will be happening here on Friday all day, on Saturday. Then on Sunday and Monday, San Marcos at the St. John's Church. Of course, we have a number on your screen, the Red Cross hotline. If you have any questions, please call that number. Back to you.
Reagan, thank you. And we see destruction, we hear the stories. A lot of people want to know why. You know, there's always that question, why is this happening? What's going on? And you do see, when you look back, you see a shift in the weather pattern, don't you, Dr. Postel?
Yeah, you know, we saw this shift toward the rainy southern plains back in late March and early April, and it happened rather abruptly, and from a very dry pattern early in the year to all of a sudden it got really wet. And this is what it's looked like really over the last couple of months, where we've had 2 distinct branches of the jet stream. And what I mean by that is that there's kind of this split flow. We have a batch of high winds riding at relatively high latitudes there over Canada, and then another batch coming in that's a little bit more moist, coming in off the Pacific. And underneath that sort of what's called a subtropical branch, because it's coming from subtropical areas, we've had a flow coming out of the tropics, out of the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, that went right into the southern plains and helped it get really rainy. So that was what the pattern looked like.
So the question now that people are going to have, and you see here at the top of the screen, is El Nino to blame for this?
No, not to blame. It is an accomplice, as you like to say, but it is probably not
the guilty party.
Not probably the primary driver. I like that way. Yeah, so because, and it's tempting to go that direction, right? Because if you look at the pattern that El Nino is typically associated with, it's got that split, right, in the jet stream that we just saw. And typically, a lot of times you see on the statistical averages some cooler and wetter conditions across parts of Texas, for example. Aha, you might think, all right, I get the connection there, so it's got to be El Nino, right? Well, let's look ahead for a minute, and this might help you answer the question, because if you look at the El Nino status right now, here we are, May. Here's time on the bottom. We are in an El Nino state, which is expected in the future to get even a little bit stronger as you go toward the next couple of months, right? So here's the forecast for El Nino. It's supposed to get even stronger than that going into the summer of this year. So you might think, oh no, if El Nino is to blame for what just happened, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse over Texas. But wait. But wait, right? Because if you look next week, look, it is probably likely to be drier than average across Texas just next week in a strengthening El Nino. So what's going on, Chris? Well, there are a lot of other things going on in the atmosphere, not just El Nino and its modulation of the jet stream, but there are all kinds of intraseasonal and week-to-week variations in the weather that kind of swamp the El Nino signal. So here's one of those swamp effects that we're going to see.
So a bigger
next
player,
week.
right? A bigger player. Be careful when you use the word swamp when we're talking about Texas.
True, because it's going to dry out.
Right, it's going to dry out.
It's going to dry out next week, guys. This is really good news, right? We're going to see one of those switches back to a period of drier weather. Perhaps a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe longer than that, we'll see. But if you look at our forecast, for example, for Dallas, look at this. 80s all the way across the board, and look, I see a big yellow orb in the sky each one of those days, right? So that's good news for the Southern Plains, and let's hope it sticks around beyond next week, and there are some signs that it will do that.
But we also noticed the lightning bolts today and tomorrow for Texas.
Until then, right? Until next week,
let's
watch
go
out.
to Jennifer Lopez with that.
Right.
And you think we'll see more showers and thunderstorms across Dallas and even out towards West Texas. Here in Amarillo, we'll start to ramp up closer to the afternoon and continue through the early part of the evening. So again, some of these could be strong to produce some gusty winds. We do have a concern for some severe weather here in West Texas and all the way up into Kansas City, maybe near Chicago. And another spot for some severe weather would be right around the Arklatex as we go through the afternoon. Now, as we zoom in a little bit tighter here, you can see in West Texas out towards the Panhandle, there's a torcon of about 3. So there's probably some significant weather we're going to be monitoring this afternoon within a 50-mile radius that you could see a possible tornado. Let's time out this event as we go through the afternoon, and a lot of it's going to be in East Texas going into the afternoon, and then starting to focus in on the Arklatex here and over to Little Rock. But then as we go through the late evening hours and early tomorrow, going to start to notice more clouds, more showers and thunderstorms in West Texas. We're going to have to watch that as it pushes towards the east. So we could see another event like what we had last night across the Metroplex, although perhaps tonight we don't expect that significant rainfall. Still some rain, and that's going to aggravate the situation, but it may just not be this astronomical amount that we had in Dallas overnight and early tomorrow. Shreveport, you're in the Arklatex, and we expect some strong thunderstorms later this afternoon, right in time for the ride home and also for the early evening hours of your Friday night. Chris?
Jen, thank you very much. And we've seen some staggering, unbelievable amounts of rainfall in Texas during the month of May. In fact, to put a number on it, 2.6 trillion gallons of water has moved through Texas reservoirs this month. Coming up, we're going to break down this number and let you know if that amount of 2.6 million gallons or trillion gallons, if that's enough to help out California, if that were to fall in the state of California. We're going to have the answer coming up. Plus, dramatic high water rescues this morning in Texas. Even the first responders getting trapped.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy skies. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
When you feel good, no one is immune. With antioxidants, electrolytes, and B vitamins, plus more vitamin C than 10 oranges, Emergency transforms more than just water. Emergency, let your awesome out.
Walmart's low prices every day, it's not just about having more savings, it's about having more fun. Great get-togethers start with low prices you can trust every day.
Did you know? Fresh Step Extreme Lightweight Litter isn't just light, it's also the best lightweight for eliminating odors. Amazing, right? For superior odor elimination, try Fresh Step Extreme Lightweight.
Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. The seal you can trust with stain and sealer in one and easy to choose colors. Exceptional beauty and protection have never been easier. Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. Available at the Home Depot.
When you do business everywhere, the challenges of keeping everyone working together can quickly become the only thing you think about. That's where AT&T can help with the tools and the network you need to make working as one easier than ever, virtually anywhere, leaving you free to focus on what matters most.
We got the new Temperflex, and it's got the spring and bounce of a traditional mattress.
You sink into it, but you can still move around.
And now that I have a Temperflex, I can finally get a good night's sleep.
I flop down on the bed, and it's just like, oh, this is perfect.
Wherever you put your body, it just supports you.
Like little support elves are just holding you where it needs.
I can sleep now through the night.
Change your sleep. Change your life. Change to Tempur-Pedic.
We love PetSmart because they treat us like the stars we are.
So this is the celebrity section.
It's just the bonus size for our customers.
For celebrities.
For everyone.
Okay.
PetSmart has special offers and sizes on your favorite food brands, all with an unbeatable price guarantee. Because Pethood needs a partner.
I take these out to put in Dr. Scholl's Active Series insoles. They help reduce wear and tear on my legs because they have triple zone protection and reduce shock by 40%. So I feel like I'm ready to take on anything.
Bridgestone's revolutionary drive car tires are engineered to take a puncture and drive up to 50 miles on a flat.
I feel unstoppable, like a superhero.
With a sidekick.
Yeah, you're my sidekick, right, bud?
No.
Okay.
As the host of a popular home improvement show, I know a lot about finding a great contractor for home repairs and improvement projects. Now there's HomeAdvisor.com, a free service that matches your project to top local service professionals. We didn't have to do any work other than say what we needed.
Just 1, 2, 3, I found my guy and everything was smooth.
And it's always free to use.
We've had nothing but fabulous every single time.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com now to get started on your next project.
HomeAdvisor. Make the cash call and ask for the do-over refi. If you refinanced your mortgage in the last 18 months, we can redo it at a lower rate, like today's 2.875% rate and APR with no closing costs. Just call 855-890-CASH.
Welcome back, everybody. It's hard to imagine the extent of the flooding that has hit Texas, but the image has been very real. For Dallas, just since midnight, an extra 8+ inches of rain in spots across the Metroplex. Lubbock now is its top 3 wettest month on record with over 11 inches and counting.
So much flooding, Lubbock, Texas, Houston, Dallas, all over the state. The Blanco River doing so much damage. The reservoirs, though, have been filling. Now 82% full for the Texas reservoirs, up from 73%. And that's just in the past 30 days. This is a lot of rain. So all of that rain, we're going to talk about how much water that is. We have to do a look here, okay? Thousands, millions, billions, trillions.
Amazing.
2.6 trillion gallons of water pass through. Now, look at this. Pass through Texas reservoirs, okay? Doesn't include, that's measured water, doesn't include what fell between the reservoir and the ocean or the Gulf. I mean, that's what has been measured. So likely more than that. That would cover the entire state of Rhode Island in 10 feet of water. That's how much water we're talking about.
And it's also amazing that this area was just in an extreme drought a year ago. I mean, you never curse rain in Texas, but now you're like had too much of it.
Compare it to California now. Gallons, that many, 2.6 trillion gallons of water would cover California. Remember, Rhode Island had 10 feet of water, but just an inch of water in California. It's equivalent to California's average water consumption for 1.5 to 2 years. So it's a lot of water. That's significant. I mean, you could take care of California's needs for almost 2 years.
All right, and again, gallons would only be about 25% of what they need here in California to get out. Again, this area, Southwest, is in extreme drought, so they desperately need some rain. But unfortunately, it's all been in one spot this past few weeks and past month.
Right, we've seen so much of that rain in Texas, and 4 inches of rain overnight. That's all it's taking to send water pouring from Buffalo Creek.
And across the eastern part of Cleburne, Texas, about just a half an hour to the south of Fort Worth, evacuations are also underway. So joining us live on the phone is the mayor of Cleveland, Scott Kane. And we appreciate you joining us on this busy morning. We even understand that the National Guard has been called in. So what is the situation like there?
Well, that's right, Jen. We've had a tremendous amount of rain overnight. And you're right, we've gone from drought conditions to flood conditions. So those folks who have been praying for rain, you did a good job, but you can stop now. We need to slow it down a little bit. Conditions are improving very dramatically, minute by minute. We had about 45 roads that were closed, 30 folks evacuated, and the whole east side of our community was flooded. The floodwaters are receding, and we're starting to get things back to normal and start preparing for the next wave of potential rain tonight.
Can you give us an idea of the impacts? Anybody damaged? The damage might be too early for some of the damage, but anything that's obvious that stands out right now, maybe bridges that have been compromised?
Well, right now it looks like our bridges have sustained the rain and seem to be okay. We're in the process of assessing that right now. We're very fortunate that the Texas National Guard was here to assist us to rescue 30 folks that were trapped in their homes. We've had some high water rescues with folks that are trying to get in their vehicles and drive. That's not safe to do. But the houses right now are the main priority. It looks like most of our houses are going to be okay. There'll be some water damage, but we're in the process of assessing that right now.
All right, and Mayor Kane, we also heard that the school was delayed, that the Cleburne ISD had a delay. Was that because the roads may have been just impassable? You're waiting for the water to recede?
Well, that's correct. We've been working very closely with the school district to get the schools back up and running. The schools are fine, but safety was priority number one, and we want to encourage our parents to continue to put safety first. The school district wants the kids back in school, but they want them to do it safely. So the whole community is working together to solve the problems created by the rain.
All right. Thank you so much. And again, only a few more days of school left, so you got to get it in there. Thank you so much there, Mayor of Cleburne, Texas.
And this heavy rain and more dangerous flooding hits Texas. We saw there in Cleburne, also here in Dallas. This is live right now. Looks like ongoing rescues happening.
Are you road ready? What currency do you use to test your tread? Stay tuned for your answer.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tires she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier Tire, even as it wears down over time, its safety doesn't, thanks to Evergrip technology. The Michelin Premier Tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
A. Penny. One easy way to check for wear is by using the Penny test.
It's here. New Fancy Feast broths with chicken. Silky smooth or creamy broths. Now with the real chicken she loves. Never any byproducts or fillers. Being a cat just got more enjoyable. Fancy Feast broths with chicken.
Where you get your weather
matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round one of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there in Dusty, Texas. Wow.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on. Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy skies. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Heartburn.
Someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. They work fast and don't taste chalky.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
Put your hand over your heart. Is it beating? Good. Then my Nutrition Heart Health Mix is for you. It's a wholesome blend of peanuts, pecans, and other delicious nuts, specially mixed for people with hearts. I said people with hearts. Because heart health is important. That's why I've researched, optimized, and packaged this mix just for you. Not you. So if you have a heart, start optimizing your nutrition with my Nutrition. Planters. Nutrition starts with nuts.
Oh, I love game night. Oh, it's a house and a car.
So far, you're horrible at this, Flo.
You got no talent for drawing, Flo. House, car. Oh, raise the roof. No one?
Remember when we used to raise the roof, Diane?
Oh, quiet, Richard. I'm trying to make sense of Flo's terrible drawing.
I'll draw the pants off that thing.
Oh, hats on hamburgers. Dancing. Drive-in movie theater.
Home and auto.
Squares.
Lamp. Lines. Stupid, dumb.
No. Home and auto bundle from Progressive. Saves you money.
Yay, game night. So much fun.
With the guts to stand apart. Join a league all their own.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
If you're not happy with how your allergy medicine treats your congestion, rethink relief with Nasacort Allergy 24-Hour. Unlike antihistamines that target only one cause of your symptoms, Nasacort stops more, relieving the worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion, for 24 hours. It's non-addictive and has no harsh taste, and unlike Flonase, it's scent and alcohol-free. And it's available over-the-counter at full prescription strength. Rethink your relief with Nasacort. It stops more of what makes you miserable.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
We want to check back in on that water rescue that is happening right now here in North Texas in Denton County, just to the north of Fort Worth and Dallas. This was a woman that was stranded in her car And as you can see, rescuers had to get her out. Fortunately, though, she's able to walk away. To kind of recap what has happened, overnight, a big complex of storms came across Fort Worth and Dallas and dumped a tremendous amount of rain on top of what has been a saturated month of May. So they are certainly a lot going on with water rescues across Fort Worth and over into Dallas throughout the morning. And we're going to continue to keep you posted on the situation there. Now, on top of all the heavy rain and the flooding, we also have something going on in the tropics and something in the Pacific, but also maybe a little bit going on in the Atlantic. Here to tell us more is Greg Postel.
We'll have a look at that. You're right. But let's start with the Pacific first, because we have a tropical storm out there, almost a hurricane. We don't really know exactly how strong it is, but the idea is that the Hurricane Center's best estimate is at 70 miles per hour, moving west-northwest at 9. That is in that direction away from Mexico. But this is part of a pattern that is allowed tropical activity to get going relatively early here in the East Pacific. That may continue for a while. And we'll keep an eye on this guy. Right now, it looks like it's going to be moving. See all this? This is a water vapor imagery. See all that orange stuff in red? Those are very dry air basically an very dry air mass that way, and I think it's getting into the circulation kind of underneath those cirrus clouds. So I think some of the dry air is kind of getting wrapped in there, and that's holding the intensity in check, because when dry air gets into these storms, it tends to create downdrafts, and those aren't really good for tropical cyclones. And so I think that may be keeping the intensity at bay for now, but it should intensify as it moves on off toward the west in waters that are generally in the 80s.
What about the direction? What's going to change it or push it?
Well, you know what? It's going to be moving in that direction. The steering flow is kind of off in that way. So it's got a while to hang out over water temperatures in the 80s, which is warm enough to keep it going. But eventually it's going to run into some cooler waters, and that will weaken it on the way. You can see that reflected in the official forecast from the Hurricane Center.
All right, takes it way out there. No impact to Hawaii.
No.
Good.
I don't
what
think
else
so.
You got?
Yeah, well, let's have a look then, as you mentioned, the Atlantic side. So Monday, next week, this would be next Monday, the models are showing basically in sort of a complicated pattern. They're showing an upper trough right here in the, I would say, middle and high altitudes of the atmosphere, kind of up near the jet stream level. But what that does sometimes is it makes it unsettled, kind of stormy. And it's this time of year that when storms kind of form, like we saw earlier this year across parts of the Caribbean and the Atlantic, they can sometimes, if they hang on long enough, turn into something. Right now, the models really aren't aggressive in doing that. But we should keep an eye on this part of the world, because in June, we oftentimes see development, if it's going to happen, in that area. Lots of dots there. So it's happened before.
Hopefully it'll be towards the end of June and we can get a little bit of quiet weather in here, especially into the Western Gulf.
Right. And just because it happened before doesn't mean it's going to happen again. Right. These are climatology statistics, and what we're looking at is our forecast for next week. Very different things, but these are the typical tracks in June. So, you know, wouldn't be that unusual. It would be consistent with the statistics in the past to see maybe things get a little bit more active in this part of the world pretty soon. All right. So stay tuned.
Something we're going to keep an eye on. Thank you so much, Greg. Now let's go over to Chris.
All right, Jen and Greg, right now we are monitoring our affiliates for any more additional water rescues, because we have seen our share, even this morning, from the historic and catastrophic flooding that has been swamping Texas. And it has been for the last 30 days. Let's take a look at what unfolded here on the Weather Channel Live just a little while ago. Notice we're talking about a police officer here. So first responders having to be rescued in the middle of the road. You can see the guardrails on each side, which gives you an idea of just where this individual is. And then the water rushing, collecting on the guardrails, and then going through. What we don't know is if there's a stream around here, where that stream is supposed to be. Usually when there's a guardrail, that usually means there's something down below. So the stream could be in there somewhere, but you just can't tell. As the officer here is being lifted up from the helicopter. And again, we look at some of the clues around us. We see trees right here. Trees usually don't live in the middle of streams. So this tells us this is flooding. Here's a power line right there, and so they have to be careful of that. Something you have to think about. There's so many complex things that goes into a rescue. When someone finds themselves trapped, even first responders, they find themselves in a place they don't want to be. And then the next thing you know, they're hanging on right here above the trees, going to be rescued. So again, this scene playing out here on the Weather Channel, live on the air, and hopefully we don't see any more of that, but more rain on the way. We're back with the forecast and a look ahead for Texas when things will eventually dry out in 60 seconds.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 75. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy skies. High 86. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.